to read about the latest news from Greece, United States, and our community on newgreektv.com. Offered in English and Greek language, read about politics, the economy, and upcoming events.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Greek TV News, English edition.
Enjoy our feature articles on travel, fashion, and health.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Well, we want to hear everything about your background. Tell us a little bit about you.
Watch New Greek TV productions anywhere, anytime on our web TV.
Από την εκπομπή, εμείς πάνω σε αυτό στα προβλήματα που αντιμετωπίζουμε.
Το 35%
Και αυτό που έχει κάνει αυτή η ταινία.
newgreektv.com. Our heritage, our community, our channel.
On the island of Antiparos, at the heart of the Aegean, Gaia produced an exquisite organic olive oil in limited edition, which traveled all the way to the US. The sales of Antiparos olive oil will finance 10 new and innovative Greek companies to grow. Buy today your bottle in reinspiregreece.com and support the Greek youth to move forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Greek TV News, English edition. Positive news from the labor market as 20,000 more jobs were created in December alone. The Greek labor market expanded in December by almost 20,000 new salaried jobs, according to Labor Ministry Ergani data. Minister Yannis Vroutsis expressed optimism that unemployment will start contracting within 2014. The employment index has moved up since last spring. Vroutsis is confident that this trend, through further promotion of policies against uninsured and undeclared labor, will continue and that a further decline in unemployment will be recorded this year. The number of hirings exceeded sackings by 20,000 last month. Moreover, 109,000 people found a salaried position, while 89,000 lost one. December was the 8th month last year during which hirings outnumbered sackings. Ergani registered 1,149,000 hirings throughout the year, a 35.2% increase since 2012. The labor market is stabilizing and the growth rate of unemployment is in constant decline. From 44.4% in June 2012, it fell to just 5.9% in September of 2013, stated Minister Vroutsis. The restructuring of the public sector and the responsibilities of the Greek state to fire or suspend civil servants in 2014 will be tabled in the new cycle of negotiations with the Troika. The restructuring of the public sector and the responsibilities of the Greek state to put 12,500 civil servants on a mobility scheme and fire another 11,000 in 2014 will be tabled in the new cycle of negotiations that will commence between the political leadership of the Government Reform Ministry and the Troika on the 15th of January. Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis is expected to present government moves for the firing of 4,000 civil servants that should have taken place by the end of 2013, of which some will take place in the first days of 2014, as well as a roadmap for further layoffs and mobility for which there is an extension until February. The Greek government will include in the 4,000 firings for 2013 the 2,000 to 2,500 layoffs at public broadcaster ERT, the 300 corrupt civil servants laid off, and 700 persons that left their jobs for health reasons. The government will also present legal regulations for the removal of 130 employees of the National Highway Fund that will be fired with the closing of the organization, and about 230 firings that will come from abolitions or mergers of small and medium organizations included in a bill that will be tendered in January. As concerns the mobility of 12,500 civil servants by the end of February, the Government Reform Ministry will spell out for the Troika the decision to put on the list 9,000 to 9,500 employees through a restructuring of the OP Health Fund and the evaluation of local government organizations that will yield another 3,000 to 3,500 staff. The roadmap for the 11,000 layoffs during the year includes 2,500 to 3,500 employees from state-operated enterprises and local government organizations, and another 400 to 600 for disciplinary reasons, as well as 1,000 AOP doctors that will prefer contract work. Of those already in the mobility scheme, 1,800 school guards, 500 finance ministry cleaning staff, 1,300 civil servants from other ministries, and 200 municipal police persons are slated. These numbers will be affected by April to May. For the period August through October 2014, there will be layoffs of 3,150 personnel on suspension by February, 800 AOP employees, and 1,350 employees from municipalities and social security funds. Finance Minister Yannis Stournaras, in his reply to the questionnaire by European Parliament's Finance Committee that was sent to the committee on Monday and forwarded to the Greek Parliament, detected failures and the non-timely diagnosis by the Eurozone of the Greek economy's problems in the implementation of the first fiscal adjustment program in 2010. He stressed that the country's negotiating position in May 2010 was, as a matter of fact, difficult due to its inability to secure access to markets, and pointed to a series of factors that functioned negatively in achieving the targets of the first memorandum, as its ambitious targets on the deficit and the debt were, and failure to evaluate the repercussions of fiscal adjustment on the real economy and the greater recession caused. The minister also said that, among other things, there was a delay in the implementation of reforms in tax administration on combating tax evasion and the handling of bureaucracy in the public sector that he termed as being of vital importance for the Greek program's success. Greek police are searching for a convicted member of dismantled extremist group November 17th who failed to report to the authorities during prison leave over the new year, police officials said on Tuesday. Christodoulos Xiros, 56, was serving multiple life terms in Athens for participating in a series of deadly attacks carried out by his Marxist group against Greek, US, and British businessmen and diplomats. His lawyer, Fragiskos Ragousis, said he believed his client had escaped. It is a political decision in line with his revolutionary activity, Ragousis told television station Sky. Christodoulos Xiros was given license to leave the prison in Piraeus on New Year's Day and was due to return to jail on Tuesday. Under the term of his furlough, he was to report daily to police at Nea Kallikratia on the Chalkidiki Peninsula near the northern city of Thessaloniki, where he had said he would be staying with his sister. Xiros was on 8 days of leave in northern Greece when he failed to report to the police station as he was meant to on Monday, prompting a police search. November 17th, Greece's most lethal extremist group was dismantled in 2002 after a bomb exploded in the hands of Xiros' brother Savas. All three Xiros brothers, son of an Orthodox priest, were November 17th members. More than 10 members of the group were convicted for 23 killings and dozens of bomb attacks spanning 3 decades. Born in 1958 in Ikaria, Christodoulos is the eldest son of the Xiros family. He joined the organization through Dimitris Koufodinas in 1983, with whom he came in contact through Yannis Serifis after he had moved to Athens. On deposits described in detail, he said of the mode of action of November 17th and reported of the members of the organization who knew and admitted that he took part in a series of attacks. He was giving his furlough to leave Korydallos prison on New Year's Day and was due to return to jail on Tuesday. Xiros was one of 3 brothers whose father was a priest, arrested and convicted for their role in the group's 27-year-old campaign of killings and bombings. In a related development, his brother Savas Xiros, serving 5 consecutive life sentences plus an additional 25 years for his involvement in November 17th, is due to be transferred from Korydallos prison to Larissa University Hospital under high security. The health of the 52-year-old, who has been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, has reportedly deteriorated recently. The group that was dismantled in 2010, when Savas Xiros was an icon painter, was captured after he was seriously injured when the bomb he was apparently attempting to plant in Piraeus exploded prematurely. Speaking on Sky Television, government spokesperson Simos Kedikoglou underlined his view that terrorist convicts must not be treated like ordinary prisoners. Ruling out any possibility that Savas Xiros will be granted early release, he said, "When you're dealing with cases of unrepentant convicted terrorists, I don't think they should be treated like ordinary prisoners." In an article published in Sunday's Tovima newspaper, the governor of the Bank of Greece notes that adjustment processes have not been completed adding that fiscal policy should remain on targets set. The main efforts of economic policy should be to secure viable and growing primary surpluses, the rationalization of the public sector, and a speed up of structural reforms in service and good markets, noted the governor of the Bank of Greece, Yoros Provopoulos. As concerns the banking union, he stated that it will contribute to breaking the vicious cycle of financial and banking crisis. For Mr. Provopoulos, it was this cycle that intensified European problems since the support of banks by governments fed the public debt crisis. This in turn caused further damage to banks through the loss in value of government bonds they held. He also noted that the banking union is expected to normalize bank issues and bolster public trust in European banks. Thus, it will be placed under ECB tutelage. This is especially important for smaller countries like Greece that have been facing the results of the crisis and the problems of lending markets, like the difficulties banks have in securing funding and the lack of credit. Therefore, the banking union is expected to reinforce trust in the Greek banking system, to contribute in improving lending capabilities of local banks, and in the long run, to decrease the cost of funding homes and businesses. Greece's second largest city is set to open a Holocaust museum to honor the more than 40,000 Jews from Thessaloniki that lost their lives to Nazi hands. Some 46,000 Jewish residents were deported from Thessaloniki to camps in World War II. Now the city, once known as the Jerusalem of the Balkans, has announced plans for a museum located at the railway station where the notorious deportation took place. This is the fulfillment of a historic responsibility for Thessaloniki, said Yannis Boutaris, the mayor of the city. The city already has a memorial statue and a Jewish museum. This venture will focus on the history of the Jews deported from the city, most of whom perished at Auschwitz. The museum will measure nearly 110,000 square feet and is planned for completion in 2020. Prior to the war, Thessaloniki had an estimated 50,000 strong Jewish population. Today, only about 1,000 Jews live in the area. Greece's Coast Guard on Thursday rescued a group of 85 undocumented migrants, including women and children, from a sailing ship in the southeastern Aegean Sea. The migrants are currently being transferred to other vessels and will be taken to the island of Astypalia, a Coast Guard spokesperson said. Coast Guard spokesperson Nikos Lagadianos had earlier announced that the rescue process had been complicated by hail and high winds. We gave them food and water and they're not in danger, Lagadianos noted. The nationalities of the immigrants were not immediately clear. Greece is one of the main ports of entry into the European Union for migrants and refugees fleeing war-torn and impoverished countries in Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. Refugee traffic has soared over the past year because of the ongoing war in Syria. Arrivals by sea have increased owing to stricter controls on the Greek-Turkish northern land border. The list compiled by the Daily Meal Com of the 101 best restaurants in Europe includes a Greek restaurant in 82nd place, Selene restaurant on Santorini. The restaurant that opened 27 years ago at Fira and since 2010 has been operating at Pyrgos Santorini, creating gastronomic masterpieces using the unique products grown on the island's volcanic soil and offering one of the most breathtaking views on the planet. This is the second time the restaurant made it on the list. Last year, it held 94th place. Santorini, however, is a place which one could easily call a gourmand's destination. There, among the more touristy run-of-the-mill establishments, one can find some of the most outstanding tastes in Greece. Obviously, topping the list is Yorgos Chadzianakis' Selene, serving dishes that even the most discerning palate will find delectable. Fava bean mayonnaise, tomato fritters in mini pita bread, octopus carpaccio with white eggplant salad, zucchini shrimp fritters with carp roe dip, and other appetizers only serve to pave the way for some of the best dishes in Greece. These include baby squid stuffed with smoked fava paste and cuttlefish ink flakes, pork cheeks with orange and apple puree, strapazzata with quail, cold collard green soup, and a trachana with sweetmeats and thyme, gnocchi and beef tongue in beef consommé, langoustines and zucchini flowers, risotto with Santorini zucchini, Aegean codfish with garlic-scented Jerusalem artichoke velouté, and the list just goes on and on. The wine list is equally impressive and yet economical, featuring a rich variety of mostly Greek wines. The Two Maisons campaign of the Louvre Museum in Paris was a great success and achieved its goal. The great conservation project for the winged victory of Samothrace began in September 2013. The Louvre launched the campaign Two Maisons on September 3rd, the day on which the monument was removed from the public eyes. The goal was to raise €1 million before the end of the year to help the museum restore in entirety the monument's splendor. And the goal was achieved. From September 3rd to December 31st, 2013, the museum was able to raise €1 million. More than 6,500 persons donated from €1,000 to €8,500 for the noble cause, and most donations were around €50 to €134, with the Japanese being at the top of the donors list. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us for this English edition news. Tune in next week. This was Themis Siliopoulos for New Greek TV.
On the island of Antiparos, at the heart of the Aegean, Gaia produced an exquisite organic olive oil in limited edition, which traveled all the way to the US. The sales of Antiparos olive oil will finance 10 new and innovative Greek companies to grow. Buy today your bottle in reinspiregreece.com and support the Greek youth to move forward.
Daily to read about the latest news from Greece, United States, and our community on newgreektv.com. Offered in English and Greek language, read about politics, the economy, and upcoming events.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Greek TV News, English edition.
Enjoy our feature articles on travel, fashion, and health.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Well, we want to hear everything about your background. Tell us a little bit about where.
Watch New Greek TV productions anywhere, anytime on our web TV.
Από την εκπομπή
Εμείς πάνω σε αυτό το
στα προβλήματα που αντιμετωπίζουμε.
35%
Και αυτό που έχει κάνει αυτή η ταινία
newgreektv.com. Our heritage, our community, our channel.